Hello, everyone. The title of this talk is Building Bridges, Generative Artworks to Explore AI Ethics. I'm Ramya Srinivasan, and this is a joint work with Devi Parikh. Designing ethical AI systems is a challenging problem for various reasons. One such challenge concerns the diverse requirements of the multiple stakeholders involved in the AI pipeline, which are not necessarily well understood and considered in designing AI systems. For example, AI scientists may focus more on performance, whereas end users may care more on ways to seek remedies for adverse AI decisions. This therefore demands reflexive design, whereby those stakeholders involved in the design of formal models are made to critically think and understand their roles in a relational context with respect to other stakeholders, thereby aiding in bias mitigation and diversity enhancement. We believe generative art has the potential to enable such reflexive design. Visualizations in general can transcend language barriers, trigger critical thinking, communicate complex concepts in a simple manner, and leave lasting impacts in the minds of the observer. Thus, we believe generative art can be useful in showcasing existing gaps in the AI pipeline and shed light on the broader socio-cultural context surrounding a problem. The first way we envision generative artworks could address this cause is by visualization of various ethical perspectives. There are different ethical theories which have been shown to be important in decision making. For example, in deontological ethics, the emphasis is on rules and regulations. In utilitarian ethics, the emphasis is on the well being of all stakeholders and not necessarily on the rules and regulations. Thus, within the same problem context, there can be different viewpoints. Using generative art, it might be possible to shed light on diverse ethical perspectives. For example, by showcasing the adverse outcomes of an AI decision, a perspective that is outlined in consequential ethics, such as through counterfactual situations and so on. The second way we believe generative artworks could address this cause is by visualization of the gaps in the AI pipeline. For example, consider the notion of fairness. Fairness is fairly abstract and even contested. What is fair in one geography need not be fair in another. However, in operationalizing such abstract concepts such as fairness, the broader socio-cultural contexts are seldom considered. For example, procedural fairness, restorative justice are not considered in taking the concept of fairness and operationalizing the same. Similarly, in measuring fairness, the structural and historical inequalities are not necessarily considered. For example, by merely enforcing equal selection rates, inequalities that result from structural and historical backgrounds, such as economic backgrounds, are not necessarily addressed. It is in this context that generative artworks could be useful in showcasing life's barriers, such as diverse economic backgrounds, thereby shedding light on broader contexts relevant to AI's decision making. The third way generative art could potentially be leveraged is by visualizing counterfactual situations, that is, by showcasing adverse outcomes as well as favorable outcomes. And this is also related to subjectivism ethics and consequential ethics that we saw earlier. Lastly, we believe generative art can aid in showcasing non-Western perspectives, an aspect that is largely overlooked in current ethical AI formulations and designs. This slide shows GAN-generated images related to the concept of peace. This work, led by Devi Parikh, brought together people who wouldn't have connected otherwise, thereby serving as a bridge to enhance diversity. Thank you.